also want to keep some of the native animals out. So up on the hill you can see one of our exotic deer species. And so over here we have our Tara David deer. So I'm going to get a little bit further up on the hill, stop so you guys can really get a close look. They're really kind of strange looking.
They're staring at us.
Look at that one. That one has antlers. That one has antlers.
All right. So over here we have our Tara David deer. Now our Tara David deer are unfortunately one of our animals here at the Wilds that is extinct in their natural habitat. When the United States was going through our Great Depression, China was also going through another period of time where they were not doing too hot. So at the time there was an emperor, and he was not a very nice guy. But he also really, really loved these deer. He thought,
well, when you're an emperor, you can kind of do what you want. So your people want.
bison herd. So bison out there, they are not actually our bison. They are owned by Cumberland Bison LLC. So cool thing about rhinos, they pee backwards. How's it going? So you might notice on him, he's got really, really thick armored looking skin. They are a fairly solitary animal, unlike our southern white rhinos that we're going to see later. So with our greater one-horn rhinos, they're another Asian species that they like to hang out kind of on their own, and they're more of a jungle species. So you'll see them very comfortable moving around in the shrubbery and the bushes. You can also see with this guy, he's got this really kind of funny looking pointed mouth. So he has what's called a prehensile lip. So if you've ever heard, you've seen like how elephants, how they can move their trunk and use it to grab things. Same thing with our rhino here. He's going to use that prehensile lip to really be able to grab off the vegetation he likes to eat off of the bushes. For ears, rhinos, their ears are actually really, really good hearing. Their vision, not the greatest, but they will move their ears around. So you can actually hear me right here. And you can also see that really good prehensile lip action going on there. And that thick armored skin. You just kind of want to keep those things in mind, so you'll really be able to see the difference when we come across our southern white rhinos later. Alright, bus is passing.
Hi, Sonia.
Everything from cancer to the common cold. So rhinos are being poached specifically for that rhino horn. Their horn, by the way, is made of keratin, which is the same protein that's in our hair and fingernails. So if I chew on my fingernails all day, it's not going to cure my cold. It's not going to do anything other than give me really bad nails. So what we have here is we have our female Przewalski horses, also known as pea horses. So they are wild horses. With these guys, again, we want to just do a quick reminder to keep everything inside the bus. And they will get close because they will use. So our Przewalski horses here, you might find them up in Mongolia. They're one of our species that'll be out year-round. They don't mind the cold. And if you look, you can see how their tails and just their overall hair is kind of different than what you might expect from horses that you would hear like horseback riding for, or you might see here in the States. So they have much shorter manes, just like you'll see with other kind of wild equine species or our zebras. Then you can also see going down their back, they have a stripe going all the way back. That is also part of their mane, just a thin line going all the way back. You'll notice on their butts, they've got these big, kind of thick, bushy tails up there. They use that bushy tail as a butt warmer to keep their tushes warm during the cold winter. Yeah.
Why just let them
so you don't scare them.
Why are they opening out?
Ah, it's just doing its horse thing.
There we go.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Thank you very much.
Put that in perspective, you have full-grown giraffe on top of full-grown giraffe on top of full-grown giraffe, and all three of them would be underwater.
Well, no, she's just saying that's not deep. See, those are cool looking though.
And they are pretty cool. So if you look, you can see they're really kind of strange looking. They got this weird body, but really well adapted for them because they're able to hang out on their mountains where they like to hang out. Really good for foot placement. And you also notice that they have these really long, prolonged snouts, right? It's kind of a weird situation going on in the face region. Well, what they do is they have this super long nasal cavity. So you know how when you wake up in the mornings in like fall or winter and it's super cold out, how that first deep breath of cold morning air really just hits you like a punch in the chest? Well, our takin here, they have special adaptations that they don't ever experience that. So when they're taking in that deep breath, their nasal cavity is so long that by the time the air reaches their lungs, their body has warmed it. Which ostriches are in the next pasture. We'll talk about them here in a minute. So in the back you can see two of our Bactrian camels.
Yeah, there's a zebra.
In fact, who here has heard that camels will keep water in their humps?
Zebra.
Yeah? Anyone? So what's actually going on with the camels is oryx. So with our fringe-eared oryx, they are another antelope species that we have here. You might recognize them because they have really just beautiful faces. They're really cool. And so they have such pretty faces. They're used in a lot of African art. They're kind of like that iconic antelope species you'll see in various forms of art from Africa, as well as they were in The Lion King, which is one of the best movies of all time. Females. Can't quite tell from here if that is war or not. So with our ostriches, you'll see, especially with them, as with a lot of other bird species, they have what's called sexual color dimorphism. So what that means is that the boys and girls are different colors. We'll come up and, like you're saying, she's got big eyes but a small brain. So these ostriches, they will peck at the bolts on the bus thinking they're food. So pretty please keep all fingers inside the bus. Ostrich might think it's a snack. So you can really see looking out here the huge difference between the boys and the girls. Girls have that very muted color, whereas War, who's our boy in the back, he is very vibrant with his coloration. With our four ostriches, they all do have names. We have War, Famine, and Pestilence, the three ostriches.
No. He is to invite everybody.
Yes. They are known criminals. They're known thieves. With our wild side tours, they will come up and steal clickers. They've been known to steal cell phones.
Yeah, and then they... The next thing I'm going to name that one over there is Peyton. Peyton is a weird chicken. He eats rocks. I'm eating rocks right now.
They are about 6.5 feet. And 1 year later, they will double in size to about 12 to 14 feet, which is what we have going on with Willow over here. So it looks like all four of the animal species we have in this pasture are out where they're easily viewable. Which, honestly, I know it's kind of dreary out, but so sable antelope are what we call a keystone species. So with keystone species, if anyone's ever heard, a lot of the times the example used is sea otters. So sea otters are another keystone species. When you have sea otters swimming around, they help keep the kelp forest and the sea urchin populations in balance. You remove the sea otters and suddenly the urchins will take over the kelp forest and the kelp forest disappears. Same thing kind of here with our sables. So sables are another keystone species. So in Africa, there's this really bad disease called the sleeping sickness. And so with sleeping sickness, what happens is you will sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep until eventually you just don't wake up. And so this has been affecting a lot of people in Africa. And so people were noticing that whenever a stable would come through a town, a village, or just kind of anywhere people were at, that there would be an increase in people who were getting sick with the sleeping sickness. So the thought was that it was the sable who were causing and carrying this disease. So because of that, they decided to hunt and cull the sable population. But after they had kind of really drastically reduced the sable antelope population numbers, they noticed that even more people were starting to get sick. So they did a bit more research, a bit investigating, and it was discovered that the actual culprit of spreading the disease was this teeny fly called the tsetse fly that will use the sable antelope as hosts. So it can weigh up to 15 pounds. So with some of the big guys, they're walking around with 30 pounds of antler on top of their head, which is just insane. But that's not the main star. The main star is the rhinos that are standing in the road. So these are our southern white rhinos.
Yes.
They are very big. They are the largest species of rhino. You'll see these guys though will get upwards of 6,000 pounds. So we're very lucky. We have 4 baby rhinos right now. 3 boys, 1 girl. Girl is the oldest. Her name is Faith. And the boys, one of them is Gordon. So we're very lucky.
Peeing over there.
They're peeing, yep, definitely is peeing over there. So with our rhinos, we are very lucky. We've had our Faith, who is our girl who was born last year. She is a 5th generation rhino born here at the wilds. We are the only facility outside of Africa to have 4th and 5th generation rhinos bred in captivity, which is just amazing. So with our rhinos here, they have quite a bit of space, and we also have enough space for them to hang out in their herds. They're a very, very social animal. They're more than happy to just hang out and socialize within each other. Yeah, question?
Why do they lift up their tail like
They'll lift up their tail, yeah. Just, you don't want to poop on your tail.
Ew.
Yeah.
What
This
is
is
happening
tail
over
and pee
there?
backwards.
He's shooting a hook. That guy's weird.
Oh my.
And with these rhinos here, you'll see they have really kind of thick necks and that weird kind of bony bump on the back of their heads. Whereas our greater one-horn rhinos that we saw earlier, they can swim. The reason they can swim is they can lift their head up high. With these rhinos here, they are not able to lift their head like that. You'll see that they do. They have really kind of wide mouths. You can see it's very different from our rhinos that we saw earlier. These guys are grazers, so they're just going to be munching on the grass here, like you see. And their names are actually a mistranslation. Originally, they were trying to say that they were the wide-mouthed rhino, but wide got translated to white, and in science, once you're named something, the name sticks. So that's why these are the southern white rhinos. For them, they are another animal that is, like all other rhino species, they are threatened and endangered. These guys, they actually have about 20,000 out in the wild, but with that super long gestation period, 16 months, and we're losing rhinos at a rate of 2 to 3 rhinos a day that are being lost to poaching. So it takes quite a long while for rhinos to come back from those numbers. And even then, you can go to countries like South Africa where these rhinos are found, and you might not see them. When I was there for a few days, and we never saw any rhinos in the wild. So even though there are 20,000 of them, they're very widespread, and they're very, very much endangered. But they're also really, really cool. Big animals. So gonna get out of the way.
Yeah, because if they don't listen, they get run over.
weigh?
The male rhinos can get upwards of 6,000 pounds.
I'll take a picture with them.
How much?
Yes, stand up. Hold on.
We have a few more species of animal we're going to see and talk about. Mentioning how with a lot of our animals, with us being a conservation park, part of what we're doing is we want to keep population numbers up just in case there comes up a situation where we might need to release some of these animals back into the wild. Well, one animal that we actually have introduced back into the wild is our animal to the right here.
Those gazelles?
So what we have here is our scimitar horned oryx. They get their name because they got those long horns like a scimitar sword. With our scimitar horned oryxes, they are another animal that right now is still listed as extinct in the wild. Been extinct for about 30-40 years now. They're found in northern Africa, so they're another species that's well adapted to desert life. And what's really cool with these guys is a few years ago, we've been very successful with our herd here. It's a very healthy herd. You can see you got some adults. We also have quite a few babies. They have the much shorter horns. And so with our herd here, it's been very successful. Us, along with a few other conservation facilities, we were able to release our animals back into the wild. So a few years ago, took some of our animals and we released them back into the country of Chad in northern Africa. And one of our animal management staff who was there to help with the release, he will swear up and down that the very first animal to step off the trailer into the wild to be reintroduced had ear tags from the wilds on it.
Here's that you eat plants and meat. Hurry up, Jen.
Which one of you brought the good luck charm today? Because
I
we're getting
did.
a lot of really cool animal stuff today.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, it's very considerate.
Must be your strain.
Oh, don't you come to the gate, mister. I'm watching you. I'm watching you, Chloe.
Hello. How's it going? Hi, what big ears do you have?
My, what big ears you have. All the better than
Sorry.
ears with my lunch.
So you can see our male eland who's over there, Macho. Short, stocky mane, but it'll go all the way down their backs.
Oh, that was peeing. Again, seriously, I see
Good eye,
something.
Lou. Good eye.
Oh, I see it peeing. Oh, a zebra's peeing. Everything pees, guys.
Everything. They have a very unique mating ritual. So we noticed with our male that we saw at the beginning of the tour how he kind of had some mud and leaves and gunk stuck in his antlers. Well, for any gentleman, you need to impress the ladies, right? So for our pair of David deer, they have very specific ways they go about doing this. So first, you got to make sure you smell good. You have to put on your deer odorant. Oh, I will wait for the pity laugh. Thank you. So with their deer odorant, what you do is, like we've been seeing, everyone poops and pees. So the deer, they'll poop and pee. And all the boys will poop and pee in the same pile, and then you roll around in it. So you smell good, right? You gotta smell great. Bachelor herd of those pair of David deer. These are the boys who weren't quite as smelly or pretty with their decorated antlers. Oh, have another animal over here chilling on the side of the road. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Can you please get out of the way? Thank you very much.
Are banting. They are a Asian species of wild cow. They're most noted for their beautiful white stockings, their beautiful white tushies, and their beautiful white milk mustaches that you see on their faces. And my favorite fun fact about these guys is you can see these banting here. They are diurnal, so they're active in the day. We're seeing more and more banting in the wild that are becoming nocturnal. And the reason they're becoming nocturnal is because they hate people. People have been kind of encroaching on their territory and their habitat. And so rather than deal with people, they're like, you know what? We'll sleep during the day, wait for the humans to go to bed, and then we'll do our thing. So this is another species you're going to find in Asia.
That's why.
Much like our takin who will swim across, these cat species, they can also swim. So sometimes they'll be over here and sometimes they'll be back in the part of pasture where we saw our Przewalski horses. The total property here. If you look across, you can see our zip liners zipping across here.
Why is that person zip line?
It's gonna be fun.
It's really fun.
I don't like it. I don't like heights.
Is factory and camels in their natural environment are considered critically endangered. A lot of that is just because their populations have been domesticated so much, so you're not seeing too many of them in the wild. So the reason we have them here is they were part of a program to do some satellite tagging where we would put just these really fancy necklaces on them to be used for tracking. So we could hopefully use that as a way, they're part of the pilot program for that, so we could use it as a way to help track wild camel populations.